It's the Raw Traveler here again. Just want to make a quick video. This one won't be very long. About where to get really low airfares. Now, most of my videos are about flying for free, traveling for really cheap, paying the taxes, getting free frequent flyer miles and traveling, but also a lot of the airlines, especially today, there's a lot of discount airlines, and quite often it makes more sense to actually pay for the flight than it does to use frequent flyer miles. And for example, here I'm right now in Chiang Mai, Thailand, and I flew here, which is probably about 350 miles north of Bangkok. I flew here on Thai Airlines flight, and I paid about $33 with taxes and everything all in on a one-way flight between Bangkok and Chiang Mai. Now, in order to get that kind of fare, you generally won't find it on these sites. Like if you go onto Expedia.com, or if you go onto Orbitz.com, or if you go onto Priceline.com, or any of these travel agency kind of sites, you will not generally find the lowest fares there. You'd usually have to go directly to the airline sites. So in order to find the fare that I have here, I went to thaiairways.com and I searched for the flight that I was interested in between Bangkok and Chiang Mai. And then you'll notice when you do that, they'll have fares on their own site that they don't advertise anywhere else. And the same goes for many other airlines. I know for sure Hawaiian Airlines does the same thing. You'll see fares on their site, hawaiianairlines.com, that they don't advertise anywhere else. It's because they're competing with some of the smaller airlines. For example, here in Asia, there's an airline called AirAsia, and they too have really low fares. So if you go to airasia.com, you're going to find fares on airasia.com that you won't find anywhere else. I know that if you go into Expedia, you will see fares for AirAsia, but you won't see the lowest fares for AirAsia. And quite often they require that you have to pay with cash or directly from your bank account. Now, I don't think that's possible if you don't have a bank account in Asia, but you can still you can forego a lot of things. Like if you don't want to get a pre-assigned seat, the flight was only about an hour long that I took here, and if you start requesting a pre-assigned seat or food or anything like that on the flight, you end up paying for each little extra. Now, for the hour flight, I didn't care if I got a middle seat. I don't really care to get any food on the plane. And so if you just skip all that stuff, forget about pre-assigned seats, forget about food, if possible, you can even pay for the flight directly from a bank account, so you don't use a credit card. But if you do use a credit card, they will charge you a little bit extra, like a couple % higher. But if the whole fare is only like $30, it's not a big deal. So that's my recommendation today. If you're looking for a really inexpensive flight, the best thing I think, if you're going to do an international flight, like you're going to go from North America to Europe, for example, you do that flight on frequent flyer miles. So you get your one-way flight or even a return flight to some central place, such as like in Europe. So you would go to London, for example, or Paris. And then from there are discount airlines. I know in Europe there's one called Ryanair. You could probably go directly to their site, and then you can use them to travel all over Europe. And then finally, when you're done traveling, you fly back on your flight that you got with frequent flyer miles. So that's my recommendation. The long international flights should be free with frequent flyer miles once you arrive to the area that you're going to be traveling in for quite a while, whether it's Asia, Europe, if it's in South America, for example. Just check out, you can do a search on Google, check out discount airlines in the region that you're interested in, and you should be able to find several. You go onto their websites and you look for fares between two different destinations, like from where you're arriving at to the destinations that you're interested in. Have some flexibility, check out the discounts and the fares, and you should be able to find really inexpensive fares. Like here in Chiang Mai, I met someone the other day who came here from Taiwan, and he paid only about $50 to fly from Taiwan all the way to Chiang Mai, which is a pretty decent fare. That kind of situation, you definitely don't want to use frequent flyer miles. It's a much better deal to just pay for that type of a flight. So keep checking the airlines out, check for their low fares, and get on board. Hopefully see you soon. Bye.